everyone, myself Swati Jevan Kokate from Nagesh Karesgi Orchid School. Today we are going to learn one new lesson from civics. Lesson number 4 that is growing up as boys and girls. So what do you understand by the lesson's name, children? Yeah, when you are born and brought up by your parents, you must have observed in your house also, okay, that girls they play with different toys, boys they play with different toys, and also boys do some different activities, or while when they are small also they play with different things, as well as they do different work at home, and also girls do the different work at home. Similarly, you must have observed that your mother gets up very early in the morning. She cooks the food, she takes care of your family, isn't it? And father mostly he goes out for the work, isn't it? Some of the women, even if they are working at home as well as means outside the house, somewhere in the office or as a teacher or as a doctor even, what the ladies or what the women do, they work for the family as well. They take care of the children, they take care of the elder people in the house, isn't it? So here we are going to see in some societies there is discrimination, there is some difference in while growing up or while bringing them, while there is very difference how they are brought up. So we are going to see this lesson in that way. So growing up as boys and girls. Here in this lesson now, being a boy or a girl is an important part of one's identity. Now see, what is identity? Identity is a sense of self-awareness of one who is, means who you are, okay, your identity, what you are, your things, means what do you feel of your things. Typically a person can have several identities. For example, person can be a girl, a sister, a musician. That is your identity where you feel very relaxed or very happy. So one can find difference between boys and girls in our societies, isn't it? When they are brought up or when they are growing up, there is a difference, and they are like discrimination also we can say. It is the society in which we live that teaches us the type of behavior acceptable in the society. So see here, God has not made any difference while giving birth, okay, he has not told to treat like this, but here it is the society which we live in, that society that teaches us that type of behavior is acceptable by that society. So there are societies which look at the boys and girls differently. The assigned roles that they play or they prepare them for their future roles as a woman or as a man, it is dependent on that how they are brought up. The work of women is usually valued less in comparison to that of men. So this is important here, what we are going to see in this lesson. The work of woman is usually valued less in comparison to that of men, and we are going to see it, okay. Means see the value, even though if a woman is working outside the house as well as she is working at home also, then too she is valued less, means as compared to the men, okay, she is valued less. Now there must be a question in your mind that how it is. Now with the next examples I am going to explain to you. This discrimination can be better understood by the following examples. That is what I am going to explain you. See, now here growing up in two examples they have given. Growing up in Samoa in 1920s. So how these children were brought up, what work they did, and all this we are going to see. The Samoan Islands are part of a large group of small islands in the southern part of Pacific Ocean. So this is a place, okay, this is an island, and how these people, means they are not more like we can see rich or they are little, they have to struggle hard for their living. Okay. So, in this report means there was a research on these people, and what the report says, the children did not go to school there. Okay. See, now as how we come to school, okay, for getting good jobs or for getting to be someone in the future, we go to schools, isn't it? But there in 1920s, they were not allowed to go to school, means they were not having that money or that much earning was not there to go for school. Instead, they had to learn many things in this age of 4-5 years itself. Fine. So, they learnt many things such as how to take care of children or do household work from other children and from adults. Means if the sibling or if the brother or sister, someone is elder in the house, that child used to teach the small one how to work for the household work for the family. Okay. Means instead of going and enjoying the plays and also going to school to learn something, what they were doing? They were working in the home to household works as well as for the adults and for just looking after the children also, those who are smaller than them. Fishing was very important activity here, and young people therefore learned to undertake long fishing expeditions. Means they used to take the children for with them so that they will also learn the same thing and just earn some livings, means earn some money for their good living. But they learned these things at different points in their childhood. Okay. Means right from childhood they started learning it. As soon as the babies would walk, their mothers or other adults no longer looked after them. Actually, when the children start walking, they need more care, isn't it? But these parents also, they did not have time and they had to go for work, isn't it? So, they were means ignored and they had to go for work. Often as young 5 years old took over their responsibility. So, anyhow they have to take the responsibility, these children, and boys, both girls looked after their younger siblings. As I had told you, they had to look after their younger siblings, means these parents used to go out for work and these children, they had the responsibility to look after their younger siblings. But by the time a boy was 9 years old, means immediately see, whenever near about 9 years, he has to join the older brother in the learning outdoor jobs. Like what were the outdoor jobs? Means there was the main occupation here was fishing, planting coconuts, like as I told you, means they had to go for work. And what girls? Girls, they had to continue looking after small children or do the errands for adults. Now what is errands? Errands means children doing some short work, like suppose your parent says to go and bring something from the shop, like this one or the other small work there these have to do, these children, till they were teenagers. Okay. Means when they were near about before 13-14 years, they had to work, do this all small type of works, whatever the parents used to tell them. But once they became teenagers, they had much more freedom. After the age of 14 or so, girls also went on fishing trips, worked in the plantation, learnt how to weave baskets. So, when these girls also became teenagers, they are also capable of doing all these works. Cooking was done in special cooking house where boys were supposed to do most of the work while girls helped with preparations. So, this is one of the example what type of work the children had to do. Now, growing up male in Madhya Pradesh in 1960s. So, what was the condition here? We have to see the following is adapted from an account of experience of being in a small town of Madhya Pradesh in 1960. So, from class 6 onwards, boys and girls went to separate schools. Fine. Why? See, now we are having same school, boys and girls, but now there must be a question in your mind. See here, in Madhya Pradesh in 1960s, why these were having separate schools? The girls' school was designed very differently from boys' schools. Means they had a central courtyard where they played in total seclusion and safety from outside world. So we can say that what is seclusion? It is a private and away from other people. Means we can say others were not allowed to come from here. This seclusion, fine, away or from private or from away from other people. This seclusion means. So how it was? The means the entire the central courtyard from where they were played or from where they passed was in a very safety from outside world. The boys' school had no such courtyard, and our playground was just a big space attached to the school. Everything or every evening once school was over, the boys watched as hundreds of girls, school girls crowded the narrow streets. As these girls walked on the streets, they looked so purposeful. This was unlike the boys who used the streets as place to stand around idling, to play, to try out tricks with their bicycles. For the girls, the street was simply a place to get straight home. The girls always went in groups, perhaps because they also carried fear of being teased or attacked by the boys. Fine. So see here, many times also you have seen the boys, they roam on the street, isn't it? Even if they are alone, they roam and here and there with cycles and all. So but the girls, what they were doing? The girls were in groups with their friends, and directly they used to go to from school to their house. So this is one example how these girls were treated. Means boys had separate schools and girls were having separate schools in Madhya Pradesh. After reading these two examples, we realize that there are many different ways of growing up. Often we think that there is only one way in which children grow up. This is because we are most familiar with our own experience. If we talk to elders in our family, we will see that their children or their childhood were probably very different from us. So you must have seen that there are different, means we as a society, we treat how we experience in the same way we think that our children should be brought up, isn't it? But the childhood of your parents must be different. As the things go on changing, this too goes on changing. We also realize this society makes clear difference between boys and girls. Now I am going to just explain you. This begins from very young age. We are the example here given different toys to play. See, boys usually play with cars, tops, isn't it? And girls play with girl dolls and also some small utensils. They make small chapatis or something they cook on the gas, isn't it? They take a stove and they do a lot of cooking work like this. Boys sometimes they make a bike of something, some chair or something, or they are brought some bicycles and all, and they just act as if they are doctors or if they want to go office, isn't it? And girls, they take a doll as a baby and they just take care of that baby doll, isn't it? So we have seen these things. Toys become the way of telling children that then who has brought these toys for the children. Have they brought by themselves children? No. This is the society or the parents, we can say. As an entire society, they have distinguished these children as a boy and girl from the righthood, from the childhood. So they are made to play with these different things or different toys. And also if we think about this difference, created in the smallest or most everyday things. How girl must dress, what games boys should play, how girls need to walk softly or boys need to be tough. All these things are told by the parents. All these are ways of telling children that they have specific role to play when they grow up as a man or a woman. Later in this life, this affects the subject we can study or career we can choose. So like this, what I told you as a doctor means parents just influence that, or they make them the boy to just behave or just act like a doctor, and isn't it? So they means as a career means what he want to do, and the girl she should be working like a mother, she should be helping at kitchen and all these things. This distinguished or this distinction is there between boys and girls in our society. In most societies including our own, the role men of women and men play or work they do are not valued equally. So you might be knowing that this means the work of woman is not given more weightage or value. Men and women do not have the same status also. Let us look how the difference exists in the work done by these two. Here is an example. Okay, here my mother does not work. What does it mean? See, let us see now. Ma, we are going on a school excursion. Rosie ma'am needs volunteers. Can't you take a holiday from office and volunteer? Means see, this girl is asking that in her school there is a need of volunteers, and if the mother she takes and takes a holiday from the office, and can she help? So she is again telling that Harmit's mother always comes for the excursions because she doesn't work. This girl says to her mother. So mothers feel that, Sonali, how can you say that? You know that Jasprit's auntie is at 5 am, means she gets up at 5 am every day doing all the housework. So see, here when someone asks you, what does your mother do? You tell that housewife, isn't it? But you think that she is not working somewhere or anywhere in some office or school, isn't it? But really she is not working of what? No, she works right from the early morning. This mother is explaining. Yes, but that not really, she doesn't go really for any work. It's just a housework. That girl explains. She thinks that only housework she does, isn't it? Oh, that's what you think, do you? Let's go to Jasprit's house and ask what she thinks. So they go there and see what is the scene here at the Singh's house. Harsharan, Shonali thinks that your wife is not a working person. So she is having a talk with their neighbor or the friend that they are not working. But it's that no correct auntie, my mother is a housewife. She does not work. So this boy also, he also thinks that my mother is a housewife and she doesn't work anywhere. So then Jasprit, why don't you just relax and let them manage everything for a change? So they just make a deal that just she will go on a strike, means one day mother will not work for the house, okay. Daily she will, what the work she does from early morning, that making tea, coffee or milk as well as breakfast for children, making them, helping them to get ready for school, making tiffins, packing the bags, sending them to school bus or by herself sending to the schools and all help whatever she is doing, they just decide that she will go on a strike. What fun, we will take care of everything tomorrow with Papa. So these children, they thought that we both will work with Papa tomorrow. And next morning 7:30, what happens? Oh God, look at the time, where is my breakfast? Why aren't the children ready? So at early 13, when the father gets up, he also wants to go, isn't it? So now the breakfast is not ready. How would I know? I am on the strike. So she tells that I am strike. Besides, Mangala has also taken leave today. So this maid means that worker, she has also not come today. So you have to prepare on your own, like I can't help, she tells. Oh, see that bus stop, I will have to drop them in the car. Means the children were also not ready. See, one is brushing teeth and father is calling, just be quick, isn't it? So the bus goes, the breakfast is not ready, the tiffin is not ready, and also now, but what about the kids' lunch boxes? Oh no, forgot about that. Means what you will do now? Mother has not prepared the food also for their tiffin. I will give you some money, just buy something from the canteen today. So father tells them, you have to bring something from the canteen and for the lunch today. But children tell that already mother has given them the money. See, then too she is taking care that she has previously only given them money. So in the evening she is having some relaxation, she is reading some book, and this father comes, he is exhausted, he is tired and he wants tea. Again he forgets that mother is on the strike and she is not going to make anything. Okay, I will make myself something for myself. So the house looks like how it was hit by a hurricane. See, all things are lying here and there. Did you expect it to remain in exactly the same condition in which you left in this morning, dear? So all these people, they go for school, work, isn't it? And whatever things are lying like books, whatever the things, again when you go, mother cleans the house, she keeps everything at the proper place. Hermit, where on the earth are the tea leaves, isn't it? See, so they are making just fun. I wonder if they still believe I don't work. And now it was, means just they had that some feeling that yeah, mother really works very hard for the whole day. So valuing mother's work is very important, children, even if means she works for you, isn't it? Valuing housework. Now this, what it means, valuing housework. In our previous hermit's family did not think that work Jaspreet's did not within the house was real work. Means whatever work Jaspreet's mother was doing within the house was not real work. This feeling was is not unique to their families. Across the world, their main responsibility for housework and caregiving tasks like looking after family, children, elder people and also sick members lies with the woman. Yet, as we have seen, the work that women do within the home is not recognized as work. It is also assumed that this is something that comes naturally to women. It is therefore does not have to be paid, and the society devalues the work. Valuing housework means what, children? Here means all the work she does, but it is told that this is from the birth only, she has all these qualities. It is assumed that from the birth she is having all these qualities or these responsibilities, and she has to do it. So, and this therefore does not have to be paid for it. So, okay, even though she does not ask for her work to be paid, and the society devalues this work. Fine. So, devalued means when someone is not given its due recognition for a task or job they have done, then they can feel devalued. For example, if a boy has put a lot of efforts into making a special birthday gift for his friend, and the friend does not say anything about this, then he feels very bad, isn't it? That feeling is called devalued. Fine. So, here we can see that it was how the feeling was, isn't it? That is called devalued. So, in this now we have seen that growing up in Samon in 1920s, also growing up as male in Madhya Pradesh in 1960s, and what the conclusion was that the different societies they treat in different way. Now here we are going to see lives of domestic workers. Okay, what are domestic workers? Workers those who help in your daily work, and they come to your house, they just clean the house, utensils as well, isn't it? Or they wash clothes. This is a story about that. In the story, Hermit's mother was not only one who did the housework. So we have seen the story, but was it of the only that house? No. Many of the women, like thousands of the ladies, or they work at home, isn't it? A lot of work was done by Mangala, their domestic helper. Now here domestic helper, this lady is coming to their home. Many homes, particularly in towns and cities, employ domestic workers. They do a lot of work. These people also do too much of physical work, that is sweeping, cleaning, washing clothes, dishes, also looking after the young children or the elderly, isn't it? Some domestic workers are women. No, most of the domestic workers are women, and some are men, but most of them are women, isn't it? Why? Because their nature is only there to take care and do the work very properly and efficiently. They have that capacity to work at home as well as outside. Sometimes even young boys, girls employed to do this work. Wages are given very low, children, here to these domestic workers. Also they had does much work and they don't give any value for the work. The domestic workers day begins early at 5 in the morning and they do the work late till night 11 or 12. Also means despite of doing so much hard work, their employers, they often show them irrespect, means they don't show any respect to them. They don't thank even that you have helped us so much and so much we are, means you have helped us and we were in need of you. So they don't even respect them. This is what Melanie, a domestic worker, had to say about her experience. She was working in Delhi. So her first job was with a rich family that lived in a 3-storied building, means a very rich person he was, and the Mem Sahib was very strange as she would shout at get any work done, means whenever she was her Mem Sahib, that is the owner's wife, okay, she was shouting and making, means whatever work was to be done, she used to shout and do it within the limited or stipulated time she wanted. So her work was in the kitchen. There were 2 daughters, here we can see 2 other girls who did the cleaning. No, means daughters means not there, these 2 again girls were there who did cleaning of the house and all, breakfast, isn't it, all the things they were doing. But these 2 girls, okay, the means these people, what they were getting in for that, only a cup of tea, okay, and only 2 dry rotis for their breakfast. Even they were in need of 3rd roti, it was not given. So in the evening when this Mangla, she cooked food, she would give to these girls, means those who were doing physical work. So they were hungry, they were a lot hungry and they were poor. So what she was doing, she was giving in the secretly, means she was not telling the Mem Sahib that she had made 1 chapati extra or roti, and she was giving to those girls who were working in the house. We could not wear chappals in the house, they were not allowed to wear chappals. In the winter their food will swell as well as with the cold, means see how they were treated. And in the winter also, means they were not used to allowed to use chappals and all. So like this they were scared of this Mem Sahab. She was getting very angry, and she was humiliating these poor ladies. Did we not work all day? So they were feeling that why we are treated like this? Did we not deserve to be treated with some respect? Isn't it? So when these people are working in the family, or they are working for their owners, don't you think, children, that they should be given any respect? Isn't it? They should get some respect. Also, we should thank sometime that, yeah, okay, you have helped us so much, thanks Didi, or something you should say, isn't it? So this we have seen in today's lesson, how these children are growing up, how they are treated differently, these boys as well as girls. Again, with some different examples, we are going to continue this next lesson with the next lesson. Okay, thank you.